The Stephen Lawrence murder trial is on many of tomorrow's front pages. The Daily Mail shows the two guilty men, David Norris and Gary Dobson, under the headline Murderers, and asks whether 3 other gang members will be brought to justice. The Daily Star says Stephen Lawrence lived for 18 years and 7 months, and it took precisely 1 month longer to convict his killers. And the Express shows Norris and Dobson, but its main headline is that families will be up to £1,400 a year worse off because of what it calls a double whammy of tax rises and austerity measures.
And it is with those Stephen Lawrence murder convictions that we end tonight's programme. The shock at his racist killing was followed by outrage at the prejudice of the police in the initial investigation. But the long campaign for justice changed policing and helped alter attitudes across Britain. Penny Marshall explains how.
When Stephen Lawrence was murdered, his family's personal loss changed the nation's public consciousness. And in many ways, his death has defined race relations ever since. It was a watershed moment, exposing racism and injustice no one could deny. Stephen's murder galvanised a community, and their determination changed the country.
The liner Epernia sails in for the Caribbean.
The earliest migrants to come here recall how overtly racist Britain was when they arrived.
Apparently, they did have an emergency street conference to say a black man is moving into our street. What are we going to do?
The Hines have lived in the same London suburb as the Lawrence family for 40 years. They were one of the first black families to settle in Eltham. They say the Lawrence case has helped to change perceptions.
It's come a long way. It's not completely gone away, but, you know, it's better than it was, let's say.
But the younger generation in Eltham, some of whom, like these men, experienced racism in the summer riots, appear less satisfied with progress. Despite wide-ranging police reforms, there's still anger about police stop-and-search methods.
I've seen my cousin, got dragged to the floor, one of them spat in his face. They dragged him to the floor, put him on the curb, arrested him in front of a group of people, and then at the end of it, they were like, sorry, we thought you were someone else. And that was it, they just walked off. And they didn't say sorry, they didn't say nothing, they just walked off, that was it.
Can you think that there'd be more bodies for policing the police, so to speak? But there haven't. What there has been is Operation Trident, which now spies on the black community.
We're 3% of 60 million. How in God's name do we get blamed for so much?
So voices of discontent remain, but thanks to the Lawrence campaign, they're now at least being heard and taken seriously. Stephen Lawrence wanted to grow up in Britain to be an architect, but he's now buried in Jamaican soil. He should have had a good future here as a member of a peaceful, multi-ethnic community. His legacy will help to build a more tolerant future for those who follow him. Penny Marshall, ITV News.